Welcome back, students. This is part 2 of the grammar lesson that we had started last time. Adjectives part 2. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you the two remaining aspects of adjectives, that is the number and the placement. So let's get started with the number. How you convert adjectives from singular to plural. The rules are pretty straightforward. So the general rule, just like in English, okay, to make a singular adjective plural, you just have to add an S. So for example, America, which is American, you just add an S, it will become the plural, America. Content, okay, whether it's a masculine or feminine doesn't matter, you just have to add an S. Content, it was masculine also, you just would put an S. Now it's content with the E, same way, you just put an S, content. Then, grand is large or tall, so you just have to put an S. Even if it was a feminine, you just have to put an S. Lucht, masculine or feminine doesn't matter. To make it plural, you would just be putting an extra S. Majority of the adjectives fall into this category, where you just have to add an extra S. But there are some which have to follow a little different rule, okay, such as these which end with S or X. So the moment you see an adjective ending with S, okay, like this, or X, it remains the same in the plural. You don't have to add any S or anything when the adjective already ends with S or also X. So for example, D-O-U-X, which is sweet, will remain the same because it ends with X, doesn't change in the plural. R, which is happy, will remain the same again in the plural because it already ends with X in the singular. Then grow, which is fat, will remain the same in the plural because it already ends with S in the singular. Português, which means Portuguese, already ends with S in the singular, unchanged in the plural. Now, if you have any adjective ending with EAU, it forms its plural by adding an X after EAU. So, nouveau, these are the two famous ones. Nouveau ends with EAU. Plural will become nouveau with an X. Okay, always remember EAU is a signal for you to put X and not S. So nouveau will become nouveau with the X. Okay, beau, B-E-A-U will become beau with the X. These are two famous ones which take X instead of S. Now, if you have a singular adjective which ends with AL, again you need to be careful. It is not a matter of adding S. You cannot add S when the singular adjective ends with AL. You have to change the AL into AUX to get the plural. Just like you would do for a noun. For example, animal would become animo, right? Animal and animals would become animal, animo. AL has to become AUX. Same way now. Amical, which is friendly, amicable, becomes amico. Special, special, becomes specio, AUX. Social, AL becomes AUX in the plural, socio. Nacional, okay, AL becomes AUX in the plural, naciono. Okay, so if it ends with AL in the singular, has to become AUX in the plural. Now, that's it for the number of adjectives. Okay, there's not very many rules because majority of the adjectives follow the rule of just adding an S after it in order to make it plural. Okay, so the third aspect when it comes to adjectives which we have to talk about is the placement of the adjective. Now in English, when we're talking about adjectives, they are placed mostly before the noun. So when you say a little boy, okay, the red bottle, the high building, okay, all these adjectives, little, red, high, are placed before the noun. But in French, it is the other way around. Okay, so most of the adjectives are placed after the noun except a few which are placed before the noun. So I'm giving you now a list of 11 adjectives which are placed before the noun. Okay, the rest of them, all the other adjectives, will be placed after the noun by rule. Okay, so these are the list of the 11 adjectives which find their place before the noun. Let's go through them. Grand is the first one in the masculine, grand, and in the feminine, grande. Okay, so un grand jardin and une grande maison. You will never say un jardin grand, une maison grande, never. Okay, it's always grand will come before the noun. Same way gros, which means fat, so un gros chat, adjective comes before the noun. Okay, same way with the feminine of it becomes gross. Gross will come before the noun here, which is chien. So adjective before the noun. Next adjective which comes before the noun is petit. You saw grand and grande. So the opposite of it, petit and petite, also comes before the noun. So un petit livre, okay, livre is the noun here, petit is the adjective, comes before the noun. And same way the feminine of it also, petite comes before the noun. Une petite table. Okay, these examples are also showing you how to change the gender of the adjective as the noun gender is changing. Now those three exceptional adjectives which I gave you, beau, vieux and nouveau, all three of them are found before the noun. Okay, so beau is masculine before a consonant, comes before a noun. Un beau garçon, noun, and the adjective comes before it. Okay, un bel homme, this is bel, beau becomes belle before a masculine noun starting with a vowel. Okay, it still comes before the noun. And the feminine of beau and belle is belle with the double L, E, which also comes before the noun, which is une belle fille. Okay, now the other two also, which I was talking about in the previous part, vieux, okay, before a masculine starting with a consonant comes before the noun, un vieux chanteur. And if the noun happens to start with a vowel, then vieux has to become vieil, and it will still come before the noun, un vieil acteur. The same way the feminine of both of these is vieille with the double le, it will come before the noun. So une vieille chanteuse. Now the same way the last exceptional adjective, that is nouveau, also comes before the noun. So if the noun starts with a consonant, it is nouveau, un nouveau film. If the noun happens to start with a vowel, then it comes before the noun, but it changes its form. It becomes nouvelle, single L, and the feminine of both of these is nouvelle with the double Le, which also comes before the noun, une nouvelle leçon, a new lesson, because leçon is a feminine noun here. Okay, now let's look at some other adjectives which are placed before the noun. Jolie, which is pretty, the feminine of it is, just have to add an extra E. So un joli chemisier, okay, chemisier is the noun here meaning a blouse. Okay, so a pretty blouse. Jupe is a feminine noun meaning skirt, so a pretty skirt. Okay, notice how the adjective has changed its form. Then jeune remains the same in the masculine and feminine. Jeune means young. Okay, remains the same in the masculine and feminine because the masculine is already ending with an E. So the feminine remains the same, it does not change. Okay, so in both cases, masculine and feminine is placed before the noun. So un jeune homme, a young man, and une jeune femme, a young lady. These are the last three which are placed before the noun. Autre, which is other, okay, doesn't change in the feminine because the masculine is already ending with E. Un autre arbre, another tree. Okay, and une autre plante, this is feminine, but the adjective has not changed because it is already ending with an E in the masculine. Notice how it has come before the noun in both cases. Now, bon and mauvais, they are opposites of each other, and both of them are placed before the noun. Bon is good, mauvais is bad. Bon in the feminine, you have to double the last consonant and then add E. So bon and bon both come before the noun. So un bon jour, jour is masculine, a good day, and une bonne nuit, a good night. In both cases, it's coming before the noun. Now the last one which comes before the noun is mauvais, which is bad. Okay, it's the opposite of good. Bad is mauvais, comes before the noun. Here I've taken voyage as the example. So a bad trip, a bad journey, mauvais, before the noun. And the second one I've taken une mauvaise expérience, comes before the noun, a bad experience. Notice how the gender has changed. Okay, final consonant, you have to add an E to get the feminine of it. So for all the adjectives besides these 11 which I have given to you, they are placed after the noun. These 11 are exceptional cases where they are placed before the noun. Now, another kind of adjective, okay, which is always the number adjectives are placed before the noun. Okay, the ordinal numbers are placed before the noun. So premier is the first, okay, dernier is the last, and any of the other ordinal numbers are placed before the noun. Okay, so le premier mois is the first month. The adjective premier is placed before the noun mois. Okay, the first month. Same way in the feminine, premier, er becomes e accent, re in the feminine becomes la première fois. Okay, adjective is placed before the noun. Now, the next one, dernier, which is last. The opposite of premier, dernier, is also placed before the noun. Okay, adjective here, and the noun comes after the adjective. Same way for the feminine, er ending there. In the masculine, so the feminine becomes e accent, re, la dernière fois. Okay, adjective before the noun. Now, any of the ordinal numbers, for example, seconde, okay, troisième, quatrième, which I've given you here, and any of the ordinal numbers are always placed before the noun. Okay, so le quatrième mois, okay, placed before the noun. Same, la quatrième fois, placed before the noun. Now, quatrième will not change its spelling in the feminine gender because the masculine is already ending with an E. The feminine retains the same spelling. Now, one last rule that you need to keep in mind is when you have a sentence construction of this form, okay, they, which is the indefinite plural article, okay, followed by a plural adjective, followed by a plural noun. Very strictly, when it is this construction, this des has to become de. Okay, so let's look at these examples. Je veux des bons chocolats. So now you can see bon is the plural adjective. Chocolat here is the plural noun. So we cannot have des. We have to have it as de because it is followed by plural adjective and then plural noun has to be preceded by de. Same way here. Petit is the plural adjective. Magasin is the plural noun. We cannot have they here. Has to be preceded by de. And the last example, jeune here is the plural adjective. Ami is the plural noun. They is wrong. It has to be preceded by de because plural adjective and then plural noun. You will notice that this construction arises only in the case of those 11 adjectives because here we're talking about adjectives which are placed before the noun. Now what happens when you have they and then the noun and then the adjective? So the adjective is coming after the noun. What happens in that case? Nothing happens. You keep the they as it is. Okay, so elles sont des actrices japonaises. Now see here. The noun is come first and then the adjective is come. So you keep the they as it is. Okay, no need to change it into de. That will be wrong. Okay, now look at this one. Maison is the plural noun and then you have the plural adjective coming after it. So they will remain as they only. So please remember, only when it's plural adjective and then plural noun has to be preceded by de. When it's plural noun and then plural adjective is preceded by des. Okay. With that, we wrap up the grammar chapter on adjectives. Just a quick overview. We started off with the gender, okay, how to change from masculine to feminine. Then we carried on with the number, how to change from singular to plural. Then we saw the placement, that most of the adjectives find their place after the noun, except very few. I've given you the list which come before the noun. And then we saw the last rule regarding the sentence construction with the plural indefinite article followed by plural adjective followed by plural noun. The es has to become de. That's the basics of adjectives for you. That's enough for you for this year. Thank you. Have a nice day.